There was once a builder who had worked for years and he was tired. So he told his employer that he wanted to retire. After all the years they had worked together, the employer was sad to see his worker leave. So he pleaded with the builder to do one last job before he left. This was not what the builder had expected. It was a Friday and he had hoped for a clean break so he could immediately start fishing that weekend. But instead, he was going to start building a 4-bedroom house on Monday. All throughout that final project, this builder moaned and groaned and grumbled. His heart was simply not in his work. All he could think about was the time he was not spending on the bank of the peaceful river behind his house, casting his rod out to the obliging fish. He really didn't want to be digging foundations and mixing cement. He took out his frustrations on the job, cutting corners and using inferior materials just to get the job done quickly and go home. Now, whomever ended up living there would certainly be in for some nasty surprises, but the builder would be long gone by then, so he didn't care. Eventually, the house was built, and his employer, the contractor, came to inspect the work. After a quick walk around the property, the builder handed the keys to his employee. To his surprise, however, the builder handed the keys to his employer. To his surprise, however, the employer handed them right back to the builder and said, "This house is my gift to you for all your years of service." You can certainly imagine the sense of horror that overcame the builder when he realized that all that shoddy work he had done was for himself. He wished with all his heart that he had known in the beginning that he was building for himself. Now he would have to live in the hastily constructed death trap that he had built. My dear friends, there are far too many of us living the life of this builder. We approach our work with such a lack of care, mainly because it's not our own company. We treat customers anyhow because they are not our own customers. We abuse office equipment, we write on the furniture, we desecrate communal toilet facilities, abuse, misapply and misappropriate funds. We abuse staff physically and verbally, all because none of it is ours. We complain about our jobs, no matter how high we climb the corporate ladder or however much we are paid. As far as we are concerned, there are better things we could be doing with our time, so we don't want to spend an hour longer than we have to at work. What we haven't yet realized is that we're actually doing this damage, all this shoddy work we're putting in, going towards the building of our own death trap. We're doing this damage to ourselves. Whenever we put up a poor performance at work, when we are stealing money from the coffers, when we are being rude to the customers, when we are turning up late, when we are on Facebook instead of on task, whose company are we collapsing anyway? And whose country is this anyway? Isn't it ours? So when we are littering, when we are defecating on the beach, when we are driving above the speed limit through red lights, when we are insulting people just because they have different beliefs from us, when we are threatening each other's lives just because we want them to vote like us, whose country are we destroying anyway? Or are we thinking like the builder, that the problems we are causing will not manifest until after we are long gone? Well, think again, my friends, because we are not destroying someone else's life or company or country by not being our best. No, you can't destroy what you don't possess. It's our own lives that are about to come crashing around our heads if we don't wake up and take ownership of our own mess. For me, the rule is simple. It's better to do it right from the very beginning, because one of these days, someone is going to hand you the keys and tell you to occupy your own mess. My name is Kojo Yankson and I own this. Good morning, Ghana.